From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. Well, during the unprecedented mid-March heat wave in the central and western U.S., more than 2,000 daily records and nearly 700 monthly records were broken at weather stations across the West. 7 states preliminarily set their highest March temperatures ever. NOAA's NCEI says that 2002 weather stations across the West set daily record-high temperatures and 692 highest March temperatures on record between March 13th and March 19th, and data continue to pour in. In 30 of those towns, weather stations' records go back more than 100 years. So, to put it another way, heat of this magnitude in March that is even close to this has not happened in Nevada since at least the 1880s, when there were only 38 states, and Thomas Edison had just invented the phonograph, and Alexander Graham Bell installed the first commercial telephone. Now, the heat dome shut down hiking trails, ended the Death Valley superbloom, and closed ski resorts in California. States that set new March records included Arizona, where Yuma broke the previous state record of 104 by 5 degrees at 109. In New Mexico, no station had been hotter than 94 in March until this year, when 2 stations reached 100. In Iowa, it had never been above 91 in March, but 20 stations recorded higher temperatures during the heat wave, with Little Sioux maxing out at 97. The temperature in California rose to 112 degrees at Buttercup and Squaw Lake, a new state record for the month. Nevada, Utah, and Wyoming rounded out that list. The record-setting numbers will increase as the NOAA data was only available through March 19th, and the heat wave is ongoing nearly a week later. Well, the good news is that relief from the heat is on the horizon. A shift in the weather pattern will send multiple storms, cooling much of the region and bringing rain and mountain snow to some areas. The remaining heat will shift from day to day into early next week. Temperatures have eased slightly over the interior Southwest in recent days compared to the peak late last week. However, heat will rebuild into the weekend, with many locations likely to set additional record highs. Heat surged across the plains at midweek, with multiple locations setting daily record highs. Cooler air will push southward into Friday before heat builds again over the weekend. 3 storms will move into different parts of the West from Sunday through Wednesday. The first storm will be relatively weak, but may have enough strength to draw moisture northward from the subtropical Pacific across Mexico and into parts of Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and Colorado from Sunday into Monday. Now, that setup may mimic the early stages of the North American monsoon, but it is too early in the season for the monsoon pattern to take hold and persist. Enough moisture may arrive to trigger spotty thunderstorms with locally gusty winds and lightning strikes that could spark wildfires. In areas with little or no rain, storms may also produce blowing dust. From Tuesday into Tuesday night, the next storm will move in from the Pacific. This storm will bring rain to California, northern Nevada, and parts of southern Oregon and Idaho. In places such as San Francisco, it could produce the most significant rainfall since mid-February, with a few tenths of an inch possible. How far south steady soaking rain reaches remains uncertain, with only sporadic showers likely in parts of Southern California and most of Nevada. The primary impact of the Tuesday storm will be cooler air spreading across much of the West. For example, in Sacramento, after record highs in the 80s this weekend, highs will drop to the 70s on Monday and then into the 60s on Tuesday. In downtown L.A., temperatures will fall from well into the 80s this weekend to near 70 by Tuesday. Highs in Phoenix are forecast to reach the low 80s on Tuesday and Wednesday. Some high-elevation snow is likely Tuesday night, but it will not compare to the blockbuster winter storms earlier this season. The third and largest storm will track into the northwest on Wednesday, bringing rain and mountain snow to Washington, Oregon, and northern California, before spreading into northern Nevada, Idaho, and the northern and central Rockies later in the week. Despite 3 storms affecting the West in less than a week, total rainfall may be limited, especially across the Colorado River Basin and the deserts. Wildfire conditions that kicked into high gear thanks to the current heat wave may linger well into the typical green-up season over the interior west and the high plains. That's all for now. You can find more regional forecasts and science-based articles at AccuWeather.com. And for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. I'll be back tomorrow with more from AccuWeather.